Morning folks, it's 5 to 10 in the morning. It's the 3rd of April 2013 and today I want to talk about the astrological Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. It goes round the Sun faster than any other planet. Therefore, astrologically, its principle is that of movement and motion. Mercury is the way you read, write, think, speak and move. It's the communication that you have with yourself through the mind, the intellect and the thoughts. It's the communication that you have with other through email, text, speech, telephone. And it's the communication that you have with the world through socializing, traveling, partying and being out there in one's social community. Mercury is all forms of communication. Depending on the sign and house of the zodiac that Mercury is in when you were born, shows the general background pattern of your personal communication skills. For example, someone with Mercury in Gemini or Virgo is going to have a detailed, analytical and concise mind, whereas someone, for example, with Mercury in Pisces or Sagittarius is going to have a more nebulous appreciation of communication and see things from the bigger picture rather than the finer details. The house of the zodiac shows the way that Mercury manifests in the eyes of the outside world. So someone with Mercury in the 7th house of relationships is going to experience their best communications at the one-to-one level. Whereas, for example, someone with Mercury in the 4th house of home and environment is going to be experiencing communication as much as in terms of feelings rather than thoughts. The aspects to Mercury show the way that one's communication with the outside world, outside of oneself, is impacted upon. Often squares to Mercury or oppositions to Mercury bring the extremes of communication, either shyness, reserve, inhibition, or over-talkativeness, verboseness, and over-fussiness with attention to detail. A difficult Mercury position can bring inconfidence in one's own mind or one's communication skills, and it can bring a lot of bluster as well. Whereas a healthily aspected Mercury creates a steady, stable, consistent and regular approach to all systems of communication and media. Mercury itself is vastly underrated. It is a neutral planet. It is the only planet that is given no gender by astrology. All the other planets are either feminine or masculine, but Mercury is androgynous, which is why perhaps it's the only planet that really gets on well with both Saturn and Uranus. Mercury can be objective, detached, impersonal. It can look at things from a much more separate perspective and as a result see things in much more yes, no, black, white. Words like feelings and emotions don't normally enter Mercury's lexicon unless it's in a strong Piscean, Cancerian, 4th house, 12th house, 8th house capacity. Mercury as the communicator in your horoscope is your mouthpiece into and onto the outside world. It's the way you interact, the way you socialize and communicate with yourself and with others. So have a look at your Mercury, have a look at the sign and the house that it's in and the aspects it makes, and you will get a much more objective and detached perspective on your own communication skills. And also, if you want a bit more feedback on this, look at other people's Mercuries in the charts of your family or your close friends, and the more you will see different types of Mercury positions, the more you gain an understanding of different types and different forms of communication. The lesson of Mercury is clear. It says quite simply, communicate. Okay, that's today's lesson. Catch you later. Bye.